The stranger in family photos. When Emma Blake's grandmother passed away in October, she left behind an old Victorian house in Vermont and boxes upon boxes of photos dating back over 100 years. As the sole heir, Emma inherited the estate, and with it, the task of sorting through its long-forgotten contents. She took a leave from her job in Boston, planning to spend 2 weeks organizing, boxing, and perhaps finding some forgotten treasures. The house had stood frozen in time. Heavy velvet curtains lined the windows, dimming the already overcast skies. Dust coated every surface, and the air smelled faintly of mothballs and something older, like rot just beneath the surface. The photographs were kept in a cedar trunk in the attic, hundreds of them, all labeled meticulously on the back. Names, dates, locations. Emma admired the effort. She spread them out on the long dining table to examine the family's generational line. But something odd began to emerge. At first it was subtle. A man standing near the back of a family reunion photo from 1964. He wasn't posing with anyone, just standing. Distant, unsmiling. She thought nothing of it until she found him again, this time in a 1981 Christmas photo peeking from behind a curtain. She pulled more pictures, heart beating faster. A 1952 wedding portrait. The man stood behind the bride and groom, partially obscured by a pillar. A baby's baptism from 1940. He loomed in the background, just a blur, but unmistakably him. Always in the background. Always just watching. Emma gathered over 20 photos with the same man, never aged, always in black, always pale and expressionless. A trench coat, hollow eyes, and in every photo he was closer. She laughed nervously, running a hand through her hair. Coincidence, she muttered, some distant relative, a cousin or friend of the family. But the unease had already seeded itself. That night she dreamed of the man. She was in the hallway outside her bedroom, but it stretched longer than it should, twisting, dark. The man stood at the end, facing away. She tried to speak, but her voice caught. He turned slowly, and his face was wrong. No eyes, no mouth, just a pale, blank surface. And then he rushed toward her with a jerking, unnatural movement. Emma woke up, gasping, drenched in sweat. The next day, she brought out a magnifying glass and studied each photo again. The man was identical in each one, same height, same clothes, same posture. This was no relative, this was something else, something wrong. Driven by growing dread, she searched the basement for more albums. In a dust-covered trunk beneath a pile of old coats, she found a photo album labeled 1901 to 1920. Her hands trembled as she flipped through. There he was, in a sepia-toned picnic photo from 1913, by a riverbank in 1906, in a funeral photo from 1902, staring directly at the camera while everyone else mourned. Emma slammed the album shut. This wasn't coincidence, this wasn't rational. She called her mother. "Do you remember someone in Grandma's old photos?" "A man. He's in dozens of them. Pale, wearing a trench coat, kind of haunting." There was silence on the line. Then her mother said, "Emma, put those pictures away." "What? Why?" "Just do it. Burn them if you can." "What are you talking about?" "I saw him too, years ago when I was helping Grandma organize the attic. I kept seeing him in the photos, and then I started seeing him outside the house, watching, always watching. It stopped when I moved away." Emma swallowed hard. "Did you ever talk to Grandma about it?" "She told me never to acknowledge him. That's all she said. Don't look at him too long. Don't try to find him, and never say his name if he tells you." Emma wanted to ask more, but the line suddenly crackled and died. She stared at the phone. That night she heard footsteps. Heavy, slow steps above her, despite the fact the attic was sealed shut and she was the only one in the house. She stayed awake until dawn, every creak making her heart jump. In the morning, she noticed something terrifying. A new photograph had appeared on the dining table. It was her, sitting at the dining room table. From behind, taken just last night. She backed away in horror, covering her mouth. The man was behind her in the photo, closer than ever. Standing right at the threshold of the hallway, his face finally visible. No features, just smooth, pale skin and two sunken holes where eyes should be. She ran to the attic, pulling open the cedar trunk. She flipped through every old photo. In each one he had moved slightly. He was coming closer. Emma called a local historian, a woman named Joan Becker, who specialized in Vermont folklore. They met at a cafe in town. Emma brought a few photos to show her. Joan's face drained of color. "I've heard of this. A local legend. Most think it's just ghost stories. They call him the Witness. He watches. And once you start seeing him, he gets closer. People disappear. Vanish. Entire families. It's like he collects them." "Collects them," Emma whispered. "Some believe he's a curse passed through generations. Others think he's something older, a spirit, a shadow, a thing from another reality. But the stories always end the same. People go missing. And sometimes, after a while, their photos appear in other albums, smiling, posed, as if they've always been there." Emma left, trembling. That night she set the photos on fire in the fireplace. She watched them burn, one by one, curling into black ash. But it didn't help. The dreams returned. Now she saw her grandmother in them, smiling, eyes vacant, whispering, "Join us." The next morning she found a new photo pinned to the refrigerator. Emma asleep in bed, and the man now standing inches from her, head tilted as if listening to her breath. She packed her bags, left the house, drove without stopping until she reached Boston. She moved in with a friend, changed her number, burned the rest of the albums she had brought with her. Weeks passed, peace returned, or so it seemed. Then one day her friend showed her a photo from their weekend hike. Just a casual selfie, trees in the background. Emma took it and froze. There he was, in the trees, closer than ever, looking directly at her. Author's note and references. The end.